you. You're my best friend. You're my best friend now.
This turned into kind of like therapy, didn't it?
So I feel like blogging saved me from a really deep depression.
What, like I'm not enough for you? I just got a friend.
It's the most friends I've ever had in my life, and I'm 30. Hey friend, welcome back with our guest chitterer for part 2 with Lara.
Yay! So let us chitter.
Randomly.
It's funny, so after our first episode, my best friend from high school reposted it on her Facebook and said, you've got to watch this. It's like going to lunch with your girlfriends, right? And that's exactly what I wanted random chittering to be about. It's like sitting down at lunch with your girlfriends, but there's no calories and it's free. But I mean, I feel like as an adult, well, even my whole life, I feel like finding friends, making friends, keeping friends is really hard.
We moved. My husband was in school getting his doctorate at the time when I started my blog, and he got his first job. And we moved, and that was probably those 3 years that we were there were really hard for me. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a few good friends, but it was just weird. I didn't have a lot of common with people around me, my neighborhood or whatever. Sometimes they just kind of already had their groups, and I was kind of an outsider, and that's how I felt a lot of the time. But I had this blog, and during that time was when my blog started to be my friend. It was like my friends lived in my computer, so I made friends with all of these other bloggers, and to this day they're still some of my very closest friends. Some of them I've only met in real life once or twice, or not at all. But they're still really good friends. And so I feel like blogging saved me from a really deep depression, because I just never felt like I had a lot of friends. Then I'd make a friend and then she would move away.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I just got a friend, now you're moving.
The other day, I had a conversation with my oldest daughter about friends, and I showed her. I said, this magnet is me. And so I put it on the fridge and I said, now, Mom has 2 best friends. Best friends that know absolutely everything about Mom. And that is Grandma and Daddy. And I said, they see me all the time and talk to me all the time. So they know most about me and how I think and feel. They know me the longest, right? And so then I have the next circle of friends. And so I went through and I talked to her about how there were levels of friendship for me, and like these people I get together with and it's lots of fun, but if my house were catching on fire and I needed help, they wouldn't be necessarily the first person I think to call. Okay? So we were talking about all these different things, and I was telling her it's okay to only have a few people in your circle. Yeah. But I also think that when you start, everybody's out here. Mm-hmm. And things that happen in your life work people into your inner circle. So you can't go in and be like, you're my best friend. You're my best friend now. You can't do that. You can't do that.
No, you're right. And I realize as I think back on my life, I think of a lot of friends, and I call them situational or same boat friends, where there was a point in my life where I needed a friend and they needed a friend.
Like your kids are the same age.
Your kids are the same age, or you go to the same church, or you
whatever.
do whatever.
Yes.
And you're situational friends, and you're there when you need it, and then when the season passes, then it's okay to part ways,
Yes.
And I think that it's important to realize
That's
that
right.
in life,
Different boats.
Your boats go different places. Hopefully mine goes somewhere pretty.
But then there's friends, like my best friend, I've been best friends with her since we were 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And she lives thousands of miles away, and she
There's just a lot there, yeah.
her kids and her life, and we text not very often. I mean, I feel bad. I always text her maybe once a month.
But it's the kind of friendship.
But it's the kind of friendship, yeah. Like whenever I go out to visit my parents, because she still lives in the area, I'll try to make time to see her. And last time we had planned to go to a movie together, and then I was throwing up my guts. And so I'm like in the bathroom throwing up, and I'm like, Mom, call Bonnie and tell her I can't go to the movie. And Bonnie said, how about I just come over to your house? And so she came over to my mom's, and she sat on the bed with me, and we talked for like 3 hours while I was like, I'm not feeling so hot. But that's a best friend, you know, that's
that's
and we
a
just
deal.
pick up where we left off every time.
Yes, I love that. And I crave that. I have 2 of those. There are, you know, I had one in high school and one in college, and we're still, it doesn't matter time, space, distance, that connection exists. And I feel like when I'm with them, I belong. Like, we fit. We make sense. You know what's funny though is that after getting married, I really struggled with friends. I kind of assumed once you got married, your husband's your best friend, that's all you need, but then you find out they're a man and they can't.
I can't see everything. Yeah.
Is your husband just your best friend, that's it? Like,
well, growing up, my parents had friends, but they really enjoyed being with each other.
well, that's good.
So they didn't, it's not like my dad would go out with his friends and my mom would go out with his friends. We just spent a lot of time as a family.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as like necessary for them. So it was really difficult when I first married my husband. He needs friends. And so I got very offended. I got super offended, because I'm like, what? Like I'm not enough for you, you know? And I had to learn it wasn't me. Growing up, I didn't have girlfriends. I ended up hanging out with guys because
sometimes
guys
easier to be friends with.
are way easier.
Yeah, they like the drama. That's true.
So and my husband is non-drama, and so a lot of times I'm just happy to hang at home with him. And if he doesn't work, then I call my mom. My mom is my best friend too. So
it's interesting. I think everybody must be totally different because I just crave best friends. Like I just crave them. And after I got married, I didn't have anyone really close to me that I could just hang out with, go places, you know, the mall, whatever.
Right.
I need that friend, you know, that tells me like it is.
right.
And I finally met someone. See, this is why it's so awkward after you're married. I met someone and we had a connection and we started hanging out all the time, like movies and road trips.
But it is like dating,
chocolate.
and then
It's
some
like,
friends don't work out.
Right, yeah, and you gotta break it off. But this one was working and like I'm married and I'm like, is this appropriate? I have a husband, and then my husband would be like, are you gonna hold hands with your girlfriend at the movies tonight? And I'm like, is it okay to have a new best friend when you're married, you know? Anyway, it was totally awkward, but I don't know. I just crave that bestie. But we're really, I think we're kind of blessed to have each other and to have a good group of friends. And for the first time in my married life, I've got friends that I can do stuff with and count on. If I get locked out of my house, I can call Trisha. If I need to go see some
Been there.
pageant, I call Lara.
I think for me right now is the first time I've really had a lot of friends. You know, I have, friends that I get to watch my secret shows with. Hi, Jessica. And I have you guys, and so it's the most friends I've ever had in my life, and I'm 30.
Yeah, it's kind of, life just is very interesting how that works. But anyway, I just thought it'd be a fun conversation. This turned into kind of like therapy, didn't it?
Yes.
Let's talk about friends. But it was fun, and I'm grateful for you, and I hope that our show kind of is like that for you. If you feel like you can join our friend community even. We have a community now.
We do.
On Facebook.
You are my friend.
It'll be right here on the screen.
Okay, facebook.com/random chittering, where we have conversations, and if you need a circle of friends, hey.
I'll be your friend.
We'll be your friends.
We'll be your circle.
All right, well, I guess that's all we have time for today.
Bye, friends.
Thanks, Lara, for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Here.